So this video is about the union and its territories. So we'll understand what it basically means. What does it mean? This is the part of the constitution that tells us what India is made of. What is it made of? It's made of its states, union territories, and any other land it might further acquire in the future. So why does it say union and not federation? Because Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar said that union was due to show that India is one single nation and the states cannot leave or break away like in some other countries. Like US is a federation. Alright. So the states have come together by signing a federation deal. So they have full power of moving away from that. But that's not the case in India. So what powers does Parliament have with this regard? It can create new states, it can change the name, boundary or area of any existing state, and it can merge or split states even if the state government of that particular state disagrees. So how does this help India? This makes India a strong but flexible country. So it allows for changes when people demand for separate states, like the Telangana case in 2014. Okay, but what makes it more special is that changes to the maps under the articles 2 and 3 do not need a constitutional amendment. That means they don't need a special majority under article 368. They only need a simple law with simple majority. Okay, we will understand the majority concept further when we go further in our syllabus, but right now you just remember this. Okay. Now let us understand the Constitution part 1, which deals with article 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, it basically talks about the union and its territories. So article 1 has the name and territory of the union. So India, that is Bharat. So both these names are given in our constitution. Shall be union of states. So what does it mean? Union of states mean that states cannot break away from India. So what does it contain? It contains, the territory of India contains states, union territories, and any such other territories may be acquired in future. Okay, for example, Pondicherry. Pondicherry was first not a part of the Indian territory. Then when later it was acquired, it became a part. Okay, so that's your article 1. Now article 2 talks about the admission or establishment of new states. So Parliament by law admit into the union or establish new states. So article 2 basically talks about you can take new states which are not already a part of India. Okay, so that's 2. Like Sikkim, for example. And article 3. Article 3 talks about the formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries or names of existing states. So article 3 is any changes that you do to your already existing states. Okay, remember the difference in these words: admission or establishment of new states, and formation and alteration of areas of the existing states. Okay, so what is Parliament allowed to do under article 3? It can create a new state, it can increase or decrease area, it can change boundaries, it can change names, it can merge 2 or more parts of the states. Okay, so it can do all of these things under article 3. Now these are some conditions that have to be met first. President's prior recommendation required, and President asks the concerned state. Suppose state A and state B have to undergo some kind of changes. Okay, so what will the President do? It will ask the state government, but the state government gives their decision which is not in condemn with the President. Then that opinion is not binding. The opinion of the state government is not binding. And like here we saw that the Parliament can merge 2 or more states. The same way it can merge 2 or more union territories also. Okay. So that was article 3. Now article 4 says that When Parliament uses Article 2 or 3, it can also change the first schedule, that is the states and union territories, and the fourth schedule, which talks about the Rajya Sabha seats. Because any change in the states and the names or anything which has to do with the states shall automatically have an effect on the schedule 1 and schedule 4, right? So that also can be changed. But the clause 2 is very important. Article 4 clause 2 says that all the above changes that are done with respect to Article 2 and Article 3 are for the purpose of simple law. Okay, so no special procedure required. Okay, by simple law you can make the changes. So I hope you've understood. Article 1 is the name, Article 2 is admission or establishment of new states, new is important. Article 3 is changes to the existing states. Okay, and Article 4 is, it is not a constitutional amendment. Okay, let us move forward. Now we saw various commissions in the evolution of states, because first the states looked like this, which is in 1951. We had Part A, Part B, Part C and Part D. Part A was for the former governors provinces of British India. Okay, so the British India states were Part A, the princely states, the kingdoms, were Part B, Part C were a mix of them, and Part D were union territories. So it is important that you go through these states, which all states were the provinces, British provinces, which states were the princely states, and the mix of this and the union territory. So this is how it looked. But then later we had certain commissions in the evolution of states. So firstly we had the Dhar Commission. So the Dhar Commission was under the chairmanship of S.K. Dhar, and it submitted its report in 1948, and it said the basis of administrative convenience should be the criteria for state reorganization. So here the language as a criteria was rejected. So the administrative convenience should be looked at. Next we had the JVP committee, which was Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel and Pattabhai Sitaramaiah. Okay, so this also formally rejected the language as the basis of reorganization, and it shifted focus from language to factors like security, unity and economic prosperity. So your states must be reorganized in a way that these factors are given more priority as compared to the language. Okay, then finally the Fazal Ali Commission. So what happened in October 1953 is that the first linguistic state, called as the Andhra Pradesh, was created because of some linguistic tensions. So that then gave rise to the Fazal Ali Commission under the chairmanship of Fazal Ali and two other members, the K.M. Panikar and H.N. Kunzuru. So that commission accepted the language as the basis of state reorganization. It, however, rejected the theory of one language, one state. Okay, but basically language was their main reorganization criteria. So Dhar Commission, language was not accepted. They accepted the basis of administrative convenience. JVP committee, again, language was not accepted. They had focus on factors like security, unity and economic prosperity. Fazal Ali Commission was the one that gave preference to the language. Okay, so based on Fazal Ali Commission, we had the State Reorganization Act of 1956. Okay, so what were the changes that happened after the Fazal Ali Commission? There was a territorial restructuring. So the act abolished the old classification, the part A, part B, C and D states, which I have told already. Okay, so that was abolished, and it reorganized states based on linguistic lines, so creating more logical and culturally cohesive map. So a new system was devised now. We had 14 states and 6 union territories. Okay, so this part was done away with. So what was the 14 states? These: Andhra Pradesh, Madras, Kerala, Bombay, Bihar, J&K, Assam, Gujarat, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, Mysore, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Punjab and Rajasthan. So this was the basis of doing. Like Madhya Pradesh was formed by merging Madhya Bharat, Vindhya Pradesh and Bhopal. So for the basis of linguistic, all these things were, all the states were, all the parts of the land were merged to form new states. And there were 6 new union territories: Delhi, Manipur, Tripura, Himachal Pradesh, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, the Lakshadweep and Minicoy and Amindevi Islands. Okay. So firstly, there was the territorial restructuring. Second, the zonal councils were introduced. So statutory zonal councils to encourage cooperation and coordination among states. So there were 5: North, South, East, West and Central. So each council was headed by the Union Home Minister, while the Chief Minister rotated as Vice Chairman. So this was asked in our 2025 prelims. That's why it is important. So the North Eastern Council was not a part of this act. It was set up separately in 1972. Again, there was a representation in legislature due to the State Reorganization Act, because it gave away some changes. That's why there was a redistribution based on population in the parliamentary and state assemblies seats as well. So they ensured fair representation after the boundary changes. Finally, there was judiciary and legal adaptation. So new high courts were established. Some existing high courts were abolished or reorganized. The act also ensured that laws were adapted to fit new boundaries without creating legal confusion. So what were the new states created after 1956? All of this. Okay. Make sure that you remember them with chronology, because that is asked. Take a screenshot of this, paste it where you can look at it every day, and make sure that you revise it properly whenever you are revising this concept. Okay, so that's all for your union and its territories. I hope you've understood the constitutional part plus the act, the States Reorganization Act and the committees associated with it. Okay.